All right, so my project is called Bridging the Gap, Proposal for Peer Support as a Mental Health Aid Among College Students. So I know that this is a difficult question. Obviously, to interact over Zoom is very difficult, but if we were in a room together, and I asked this question, I'm almost certain that the majority of you, if not all of you, would raise your hand to this question. You are certainly not alone. So college is generally a place, as you all know, to learn, grow, discover. However, in recent years, college has proven to be an environment filled with increased financial, emotional, and social pressures. Studies have shown that the amount of diagnosed mental health conditions in colleges have increased by about 15% in just one decade, and that the suicide rate in college students have increased by 51% in the same amount of time due to increased mental health problems. And so COVID-19 has negatively impacted mental health as well. Studies have shown that 71% of college students have experienced increased stress and anxiety due to the disease in the pandemic, and that 20% of students declared their mental health is seriously worsening in this time. And with this rise in student mental health conditions, counseling centers have come under increased pressure to accommodate for the rising and additional needs of the students. And student seeking services of college counseling centers increased from 6 to 12% in the past 10 years. Counselors have also changed their model from a very long-term, thorough, in-depth care model to a more quick, short-term treatment in order to fit the needs of the entire student population that needs this additional help. And this often leaves students without full and proper treatment that they may need. As the amount of students needing treatment for mental health rises and the ability of college counseling centers to satisfy these needs decreases, alternative solutions are desperately needed. So one suggested solution to the increasing need for mental health resources is peer support. So many researchers have suggested peer support be used in addition to the professional counseling services the college offers. And data supports these claims, showing that 67% of college students tell a friend that they are suicidal over anyone else, and that 70% turn to peers in times of mental health distress over a professional counselor. And therefore, peer support can be used as a solution to the rising needs of mental health support among college students. Yet the amount of colleges that actually utilize peer support in their mental health service offerings is slim, and there remains little resources for colleges on how to implement such a program into their institution. And one of these universities that have not yet implemented such a peer support program is our own Boston University. And after delving into more data in the background section, which I've kind of outlined here, I analyzed the mental health resources at BU to draw the conclusion that a peer support group is needed at the university. I then analyzed for successful peer support groups at other reputable colleges and universities in order to come up with a generic proposal that any institution may use to bring a peer support group to their campuses. And to show the success of the proposal, I piloted a peer support group using the guidelines that I created here at BU with some participating KHC students. So as a note, my Keystone project was completed mainly using interviews with those at Boston University and other participating universities. I also thoroughly analyzed current literature on peer support and mental health, as well as sources regarding Boston University's and other institutions' mental health resources. So to make this project applicable to BU, I first analyzed all of the available mental health resources on campus. And the first area where students should go to seek help is behavioral medicine. Here, students get initial evaluation, they decide what their issue may be, and they outline a plan so they can either begin treatment in-house if it can be done on a short-term basis, or they're referred to an outside facility if they need more long-term care or more specific care. Behavioral medicine also has a crisis prevention line that students may call 24/7 if they are in distress. And besides from this main resource, services such as the Wellbeing Project and the Wellness and Prevention Services help to increase mental health wellness and increase awareness around college mental health. There are also various peer support programs such as peer mentors, peer tutors, and listening circles that offer both academic and social support as students navigate the college experience. And finally, there are facilities that provide more specific mental health treatment, such as the Daniel Institute that tends to have a more religious aspect, the Center for Anxiety Related Disorder, or CARG for anxiety, the Center for Psychiatric Rehabilitation, which is there for rehab for individuals undergoing psychiatric illness, and the Sexual Assault and Response and Prevention Center. Upon analysis of all of these resources, although there is a robust offering, a major conclusion can be drawn that there is no peer support specifically geared towards student mental health. So my third section is through interviews and analysis of resources for universities' peer support programs. I drew out the most valuable aspects from each group. So the University of Southern California, or USC's Trojan Support, it's a one-on-one style peer support program. So one student volunteer meets with another student that signs up. It provides total privacy during discussions as well as anonymity. The University of Michigan has a Wolverine support network. It has a very, very large presence on their campus. Their structure is more of a group structure, so 15 students to 2 to 3 student facilitators. They also offer all university-wide events. So this group structure provides a sense of consistency as well as communication because the group is small enough that everyone's voice is heard. And they're all wide university events, also creates a sense of community in order to spark discussion and awareness around college mental health. The University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, or UNC's peer-based support network is similar in structure and nature to the Wolverine support network. It's got a small group assigned to a couple of facilitators meeting on a weekly consistent basis. And so this proves that this peer support group structure is successful and can be replicated across institutions. And finally, Princeton University creates and supports the Princeton Peer Nightline. It's a phone or chat service that students may anonymously contact during the nighttime to have a conversation or to get additional information on mental health resources that their university offers. And this structure provides not only anonymity, it's also very important and conducive to the current COVID-19 pandemic, since operations can be done and have been done remotely. And so utilizing these valuable aspects from the 4 successful peer support programs, as well as using current research on peer support, I created a proposal for a peer support program that can be implemented at colleges and universities widely. And since we are in a global pandemic, I gave the proposal towards a virtual program with an in-person adaptation section. So the first aspect I talk about is language, differentiating students in the group as participants versus those students leading the group as facilitators. Recruitment for both participants and facilitators should be done virtually through social media, email, virtual information sessions, and establishing a relationship with a counseling center for referral purposes. Facilitators must be trained according to university protocols, so each university may have their own protocol of what they should be trained in. There are also outside vendors such as the mental health first aid that offers this similar type of training, but in all the trainings, facilitators must learn different skills such as group communication and facilitation skills. They should learn about their own prejudices, and they should learn about various mental health issues and warning signs for distress. The structure of the group should be a small group of participants, up to about 15, with again 1 to 2 facilitators. And the group should meet every other week via virtual platforms such as Zoom, and it should be all geared towards mental health. And so finally, to prove that this proposal is viable and to implement something of importance to BU, I piloted a peer support group. I targeted students of KHC to join the group through some social media, through KHC's platforms, as well as my own personal platforms, through email, and reaching out to first-year classes. I got trained through my advisor and her colleagues at the Center for Psychiatric Rehabilitation. I held an information session prior to starting the group, and I then ran the group in the spring semester of 2021. The group was held every other week with a consistent number of participants, about 3 to 4 attending on a regular basis. And listed on the slide is just some commentary of the comments that the participants had to say at the end of the group meetings. And this group was beneficial for both myself and for group members. We had open conversations around mental health, and we even made connections that I believe will last far outside of the group. And I plan having this group continue and be carried out by current participants who have already expressed interest in continuing the group after I graduate, or in partnership with BU's Active Minds, which is a student group already in place dedicated to raising awareness around student mental health. And I'd just like to thank my advisor, Dr. Dory Hutchinson. She's very important in this project. So thank you.